started. Hey, so again, yesterday, I know there's probably a few questions, but today, the nice thing about today is I can help you with any of the odds that you had trouble with, and then we're just going to move right on to the evens. Now, the next thing is, guys, I'm really hoping you're using the solutions to kind of help guide you through a process if you're unsure about something. All right? So let's talk about questions. Yes, sir.
On number 53.
All right, let's take a look at 53.
So I
I'm
got
listening.
most of it except for the part that you had multiplied 8y with the x's.
Well, so you're good with the number, right? Because
Yeah.
this 8 and this 8 cross out, and so you're just left with.
That was my problem. I didn't know if 8y to multiply with like negative 3x and 3 over 8x.
We're talking about just the number.
Oh,
All right, you multiply numbers. That's the main thing. All right, you understand what I just said, right?
Yeah.
So you don't even have to look at the variables. You start out just by looking at the numbers, and you multiply, or you raise to a power, however we've been doing it.
so yeah.
All right, so that just became what? -9. Does everybody agree with that? All right, then it's just a matter of, because there aren't any other exponents, we write in alphabetical order, so we're looking at the x's. So we have x to the third. Yeah. There you go. Which what you need. All right. Everybody good with that? Big x to the third. And you can just put it on that back by the phone, okay? So it would be x to the third. And then what are we thinking about with the y's?
Y to the 9th.
Is that right? Y to the 9th? All right. Now, does everybody understand? I personally just think if you know the rules, does everybody agree how simple that is, right? Now, we're going to challenge you a little bit with your fractions, and that's a good review, right? Because some of you may have forgot how to handle fractions, which is perfectly fine. That's what we're doing. All right? But today we're doing the evens, so there's not a whole lot for me to say. All right? We're learning nothing new today. Just double checking. All right? Now, would somebody else like me to do another odd problem? Yes, sir.
43.
All right, let's take a look at 43. Okay, so now on this problem right here, what we're going to do is we always look at the powers first. Do you understand that? All right, so we're going to do the power. All right, so let me just pop it down here real quick, and then you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So, in my opinion, I have this raised to that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to, I could just rewrite this as -2 g to the 4th h to the 6th. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then I'm just going to bring this down to g h to the 4th cubed, even though I could have done that also. All right. So now we're just looking at them individually, correct? So now everybody, I'm sure, knows 2 to the 3rd power now is 8, right? Then this would be g to the what power? 3rd, then h to the what?
12.
12. Thank you, guys. 12. Now again, just looking around the room at some of your work, guys, I'm just telling you, you have it all squished together. All right, and I don't have, obviously, the neatest handwriting in the world, but I don't squish things together. So I think it's easier for you to see. All right, that's the way I feel about your homework. You shouldn't try to fit it all on one page or one line. You should spread out. Use as much paper as you need. All right? Now, again, when you raise a negative to an even power, it's always what? Positive. Agreed? A negative to an odd power would make it what? Negative. All right? So now, 2 to the 6th, I believe, is 64. Then I would have g to the what? G to the 24th. and then h to the
6.
6th. All right? And then 64 times 8, most people are good with 512. Then it would be g to the what?
27.
Thank you very much. And then h to the... Now look, guys, that's just organized right there. That should be on your paper, that organized. I shouldn't just have an answer. No one looks at that and tells me what the answer is. All right, you should have multiple steps on your paper. Make sure you got it correct. All right? Anybody else want me to do another problem? Tell me. Let's look at 51. Now again, I really didn't speak to you about the fractions. All right, but you're just individually looking at them. All right, so what do I mean by that? This is supposed to be a negative. If you didn't see it, I don't even care. Okay, that's supposed to be a negative. All right, so that's negative to the third power would be a what? Yeah, we're good with that. Negative. Now you're individually cubing everything. So 3 cubed is what?
27.
27. 4 cubed is?
64.
Yeah. We're going to do that so much, that's what I'm saying. You guys should just know those facts. All right? You don't really want to use a calculator on those problems. All right? And then it would just be c to the what?
3rd.
C to the 3rd. That's pretty easy. Now, does everybody understand the fraction, how I handled the fraction on that? All right, you just individually doing the numerator, individually do the denominator.
Why is it C2?
Because, do you agree this right here is a 1? What's 1 times 3? Right? It's a power raised to a power. You're multiplying. What? 40 what? Yep, let's look at 49. Now, decimals, to me, are harder to work with than fractions. I would just put 0.5 and say it's what? 1/2.
Yeah.
Right? And 1/2 squared, what's 1 squared and 2 squared? 1/4. Everybody see that? Right? I would personally prefer fractions. So that's 1/4. All right, now of course some of you are saying, well, 5 times 5 is 25. Then you have to move the decimal how many times? Twice. So it's just 0.25, which is the same as what? 1/4. All right? We just use, the higher you get in math, you just stay with fractions, not decimals. All right, so we say 1/4, and then it would just be what? X to the 6th power. Very good. Easy as that. All right, how's that? Good? Yes, sir.
Like numbers 21 and like 25, like I know that those phrase like it's like a one term, but then like how would like 25 be a yes because you're dividing. There's multiple.
So first of all, you could rewrite that as 5/10 k. You agree?
But what really like the
Well, how do you separate terms? Let's do that. Let's say if you remember from anything from yesterday. You're in rare form yesterday. All right? What separates terms?
Well,
I didn't ask you that. I said what separates terms? It's a simple answer. Tell him.
Addition or subtraction?
Addition and subtraction. That's what separates terms.
Okay.
Not division. Division does not separate terms. So I can have a fraction, right, with numbers. You with me?
Yes.
That doesn't separate terms. That's why 25 is considered a monomial, and question 24 is not a monomial.
Okay.
Why? Is there a difference?
Because you can't separate.
Because there is a...
Because there's a variable.
That's right. There's a variable in the denominator. That's the rule. You hear me so far?
Yeah.
So 23 is called a what? A binomial. Why is it considered a binomial? Because it has two terms. You hear me? Because this what? This addition right there separates. This is considered a monomial. This is considered a monomial. When I add them together, it creates a what? Binomial. True?
Yes.
So number 26 is also a what?
Fine.
It's a binomial, right? So addition and subtraction separates terms. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
No variable in the denominator is allowed.
Okay.
All right, and part of that has to do with your exponents. All right, which we'll talk about probably, I think, tomorrow. Exponents have to be positive. All right, and something over h, if I said this, and we'll learn this real soon, 1 over h is the same as h to the negative 1. And I'll show you that real soon. It's really simple. All right, but that's the difference. Now you all cleared up on that?
Yes.
So monomials, binomials, trinomials, and polynomials. We're going to be studying polynomials.
Okay.
All right, that just means many terms. And again, the hard part is to remember that terms are separated with addition and subtraction. Division is perfectly acceptable as long as they're fractions, as number-wise, no variables. I will try 45. Let's see if I can do 45. Okay, so this one's going to create a little bit of problem, so I'm going to go ahead and copy it down. All right. And the reason why I say it's a little bit of a problem because we have exponents involved. So here we go. So the first one is what? If I simplify this right here, what does that simplify to? Yeah, there you go. Yo, you okay? And then the next one is what? Just tell me. No. Because remember now, you got to remember this part, right? You remember what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you. The number has to be squared also. Yes, what is it? Very good. Right? 7 squared, 49. You agree? And because it's negative, but to the second power. Agree?
Yeah.
All right, and then p to the what? Yep, and r to the... Right, and then the other one we don't have anything to do. You agree with that? All right, so now 49 times 6. Now, if I were teaching you mental math here, that's what we're doing, mental math, I would say what's 50 times 6? Then you minus 6. Yeah, exactly. Does everybody agree with that? Right, because we're counting 49 sixes, but we counted what? 50 sixes. You agree with that? All right. Now, how many p's are there altogether? Well, I mean total. Exponent-wise. Thank you. And then r to the... You agree with me? That's kind of easy. That's kind of easy. Now look, now you're just judging yourself right now. We just did a bunch of odd problems. If you're comfortable with the odds, then you're probably comfortable with the what? Probably comfortable with the even. Everybody with me? All right, does anybody have any questions with any of the other odds? Any of the other odds? All right, now, I guess what I was going to do is I was going to collect your homework real quick, but you know what? I'd rather, I'll just collect both pages tomorrow, because what do I want you to do with the odds?
Okay.
Yeah, look at, if you're not sure about 42, you could look at what? You can look at 41. It's kind of the same, right? The other thing is, just a quick show of hands. How many of you guys, is it valuable information for me to post the answers or not?
Yes.
You guys are using them?
Yeah.
All right, that's really, really super important, right? That you're able to look up information if you don't know something. All right, and trust me, I'll do any problem that you want. But I need you guys to be good math students. If you look up the answers and learn to work backwards, It's unlimited. You can do whatever you want in math. Because most people don't have that ability to go look something up and work backwards. I don't want you just looking at the answer. All right? You're learning to look at the information and figure out how they did it. All right? So again, I'm glad that's good for you. Now, just looking up here, and because I'm not in a big hurry today, but because we have a little bit extra time, is there an even problem if somebody's looking like, man, I'm not sure about that one? Go ahead.
Do we have to do 16?
No, I don't care about the word problems for now. You can do it if you want. But it's just, yeah, I don't really care about 16. I do like 40 though. 40 is important. All right, that's I've seen on the SATs. All right, guys. So let me just go ahead and get you going. All right, and then please come to my desk if you're not sure about number 8 or number 10 or number 12. Come to my desk and I can help you. Also, you should be able to double click and look at the answers and check them as you're going down. The most important thing, remember, is if you make a mistake at number 12 and you make a mistake at 14 and 16, and then you go back and check you made a mistake, then that's why you check every problem as you're going. Correct your mistake as quickly as you can. All right, good job today, guys. Get busy.